Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Recharge Your Life. And today we have with us our esteemed guest Dr. Alka Mansukani, a biomedical researcher and professor in New York. And welcome Dr. Alka. And today, since today is this month is World Cancer Day, and the theme is United by Unique, where every patient should be given special treatment and special care for this year. And so tell me, Alka, since this month is World Cancer Day, how do you think cancer cells are generated in the body?
Hi Natasha, thank you for having me as your guest.
Welcome.
And I have spent the last 32 years trying to understand at the cellular and molecular level how cells decide when to grow, when to stop, when to become something else, blood, brain, liver, cancer cell. So it's called the process of differentiation. So it's growth, stopping of growth, dying, and differentiation, and there are genes that regulate all these processes. In a cancer cell, it's like driving around without listening to the stop signals or the stop lights. So it continues to grow, and that's because of various mutations that have accumulated within the cell over a period of time. Sometimes it's hereditary, sometimes it's environmental, but we try to understand at the genetic level what causes a cancer cell to behave like it's a stem cell and keeps wanting to grow instead of listening to the stop signals.
Okay, because I've heard, according to World Health Organization, 2.3 million people are diagnosed with breast cancer every year, and out of that 6,87,000 people die of breast cancer every year, and every 14 seconds there's a death happening. And not only women, even men are diagnosed of cancer around, not the number not being so big, but 2,700. So this word cancer, I think, frights everyone. So what really causes the cancer cells in the body to generate?
So that's a tough question. There are several factors, and it depends on the specific cancers, the specific cases. But we clearly know that there are genetic factors, some of which may be hereditary, and some of which are mutations, changes actually within the DNA that changes the way particular genes are regulated. Genes that regulate growth of the cells become deregulated. So either that can be genetic, or it can be what's now called epigenetic. And epigenetic is modifications to the DNA by external factors, and that's affected. Epigenetics is affected by everything from your stress to potentially your diet and environmental pollutants and all of that. So there are several factors that play into what causes that cancer cell sometimes to just sit there dormant, and sometimes to turn into proliferating tumor.
Yeah, because they say environmental means like the chemicals they put in the vegetables, fruits, pesticides, pollution, all that also aggravate the immunity of the body. And why I'm saying is because I myself am a cancer survivor, and I realized that when my nutritionist told me like no makeup, no deodorant, no soap, no creams, no chemicals that basically which are affecting, because all these things affect the body, and we don't realize till we fall sick, or we are not on like all these factors like makeup, deodorant, soaps and everything, which actually have chemicals, and they do take a toll on your body. So because why I'm saying it, because I myself am a cancer survivor, and they had told, the nutritionist told me no using all these chemicals, because as it is you're going through so much in terms of the treatment. That's when I realized that how important it is to clean the vegetables and everything, because that also has so much pesticides. That the best what we can do. So how important do you think is the immune system? If the immune system is weak, do you think the person is more prone to cancer than a person's immune system is strong? Or I'm saying, I know finally it's genetic and a lot of other factors, but just in terms of what is your take on that?
No, there's plenty of evidence that the immune system plays a huge role in controlling cancer and in controlling infection as well. But the immune system is something that we haven't mapped out all the parts of it. Of course, then there's so many different cells. It's literally like your body's military that is, comes in to invade, and when there's an invasive pathogen or an infective agent. But also the immune system is triggered to detect cells that are, not behaving correctly or are mutant, and the DNA is mutant in some way. Your immune system is sopping up cancer cells or the equivalent of mutated cells in your body all the time. It's when the immune system starts to wane that you see a greater emergence, and that sort of disease, because that sort of makes sense. 100 years ago, people died mostly of infectious disease in the pre-antibiotic era. And now, post-antibiotic era, lifespans are so much longer, and you see an increase in diseases like cancer and heart disease and so on. And as we age, we know the immune system wanes. So we know that it plays some sort of role, besides a number of really cancer therapies now are immunotherapies, which instead of targeting the cancer cell directly, are trying to activate the immune system to target the cancer cell. So they're very, very closely intertwined.
Okay, so immune system does play a very, very important role in this. And also now, because of so many things coming, like because of the technology, mobile phones, laptops, I've heard that, that putting mobile phones directly on the ear can cause cancer in terms of, making the immune system weak, even tumors. Because I don't remember, like 40-50 years back, none of our moms, they were so healthy, and they didn't really have like that kind of diseases than what is happening nowadays. People are dying of heart attacks at 45. 15-year-olds came in the papers are getting diabetes. So technology also, does take a toll on health, right? What is your take on that?
Well, these are broad questions, but in general, it makes perfect sense that your sense of health and well-being is affected by everything from what you eat to your sense of well-being in the world, in your community, and your levels of stress. And technology, certain modern technologies and modern living contribute to high levels of stress, and there is a relationship to immunity. This is not my area of expertise, but it makes intrinsic sense that it is, that stress affects your immune system, and stress levels are definitely sky high.
Yeah, so again, no, not wrong. Technology also has its good effects, but I think what I'm trying to convey here, it's the balance. Not like extreme, like nowadays people are forever like, taking selfies or always on the phone, which okay, sometimes work and things demand it, but you can put earplugs instead of directly putting phones in the ear, because I know a lot of people's ears I've seen getting red when they are too much on the phone directly related to this. Since it's on health also, the topic, and cancer is a very major cause, because nowadays so many people are being detected. So it's always to be mindful, I guess, in anything we do, whether it's eating or on the phone or seeing TV, or basically in terms of health. And there's a saying, health is wealth, right? So because people, they say, spend a lot of they in the rat race, we keep earning money, and then finally when the disease comes, as you know, cancer is a very expensive treatment, and it's a lot of financial people people have to shell out a lot of money in the treatment, and it's not easy for everyone. So besides the emotional stress, also it's the financial, and it does take a toll on you. So so to prevent all that, I guess it's always good to be aware. That's what I'm trying to say. So thank you so much, Dr. Alka Mansukani, for giving your precious time and so much knowledge on the cancer. And we got to know that it does, cancer cells, how they work on the body, and what can be done to prevent it. What best measures can we do?
So early screening and early detection whenever it's available.
Yes, so early screening, early detection, and lifestyle, I think diet and lifestyle and overall well-being. Hi, I'm Natasha, mental well-being coach. That's why I'm stressing more on that, because I myself was detected with cancer, and of course, besides the treatment, I worked on mental well-being of movement, dance therapy, power of mind, and meditation, and that's why it really helped me. So that's why I guess it's a combination of both. So please do both of them. It's very important. Thank you so much.
Thanks.